Hey everyone, I'm Heba and welcome back. Got a tag video for you guys, and when I saw several other YouTubers do this, I thought this would be a fun tag to do too. It's the All About My Eyeshadow Palettes, and it was started by two YouTubers, Samantha March and Allie Glines. And like I said, other YouTubers were doing this tag, and I thought, yeah, I want to do this tag. Even though I wasn't tagged to do this video, I saw it and it's like, yeah, I want to do it. So, alright, the first one is Show Your Newest Palette. It's what I'm wearing right now and is by Artist Couture, the Supreme Nudes. I wanted to get this palette during the Sephora sale, but it was sold out. And finally it came back in and I went ahead and got it. Not during the sale, unfortunately. I didn't want to lose out again, so here it is right here. That is a pretty neutral palette. It's also got some cool tones here, and this green shade, oh, that is beautiful. I used this green shade Supreme in my, I believe it was my empties video, and I'll link it down below, and it was a real pretty look, and from the comments, y'all really like that look too. And for this look, I used three shades. Yes, I used three shades. This shade right here, Nudist, for my transition. Then in my crease, I used, oh gosh, it's called Aesthetic. And on my lid, I used this pretty bronze shade, Bronziana. It's kind of more of a shimmer, not metallic, because it's not giving me that punch, but it's a nice, really subtle look. Now, I do have to say this. At the time of this filming, this palette is my newest palette that I have in my hand, and I already ordered a couple more new palettes, but I didn't get them yet. Two of them are by Tom Ford, and I believe it's the shade and Illuminate Face and Eye palette, and I'll link that one down below. I got the number 1 and the number 3, I believe. I know, I don't even know the palettes that I just got. Isn't that awful? And this week is the Sydney Grace Christmas in July week, and I went ahead and ordered the Chase Your Dreams palette. I believe that's the name of it. And when the Summer Days palette goes on sale, hopefully I can get that one. So this one is my newest palette, but it's the one that I have in my hand right now. The others are still out there. The next one is my oldest palette, and I've kind of decluttered a lot of my older ones, but from the ones that I have right now, it is this one by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's the Master Palette by Mario. This one was from 2016, so yeah, even though it's 4 years, it's still my oldest palette, and that's pretty much when I really got started into makeup. So this one is the oldest one that I still have, and here are the shades right here. It also has a real pretty green. I don't think they make this one anymore, and looking at the colors, it kind of reminds me of the Supreme Nudes. Let me put them side by side. So that's somewhat similar. So I guess you know what kind of shades I tend to go to. Okay, next is my most expensive palette, and I'm kind of ashamed that I have this palette because it cost $169. $169 for eyeshadows. Yes, I know, and it's by Natasha Denona, and it is the Star palette. It is a beautiful palette though. I mean, this shade right here is beautiful, and I love this side, and actually I love this side too. Yeah, I know, paying $169 for an eyeshadow palette is a little crazy, but I do like the shades, even though some of it are a little bit in the cool side, but her metallics, oh my god, they are wow. At least I don't have her, was it her 28 pan palettes? I believe that one cost like $240, something like that. Yeah, I didn't go that crazy. But yes, this one is my most expensive palette. Next is my affordable palette, and going from $169 to $3. And I'm sure this one is in everyone's video, and it's by e.l.f. It's the Bite Size eyeshadow palette. And this one that I have is called Cream and Sugar, and this one is a really pretty palette, and the pigmentation is there. I really want the one that's kind of more orangey peachy tone. I believe it's called Harvest, but I don't want to buy anything online for just $3 and pay for shipping, and that's just wasteful. And I tried going to Walmart, all the Walmarts that I go to, or even Walgreens, to see if they carry it, and haven't found it there in the store yet. But hopefully one day I will find that palette. And yeah, for $3, you can't beat it. Now for my everyday palette. I really don't have an everyday palette because I have so many palettes, so I just want to use them all. But if I'm looking for something just to quickly go outside, I think it will have to be this one by Dose of Colors, the Baked Browns. It's an all matte palette, and it's got the pretty browns in there. So I can quickly do a transition shade and then just pop a dark color on my lid, and I'm good to go. So this probably could be an everyday palette, and actually some of these other ones could be everyday palettes too, but I would say this one by Dose of Colors. As you can see, I tend to go for the warm browns and oranges. So yeah, I guess you could say a lot of my palettes could be everyday. Next is my most colorful palette, and it has to be this one by Juvia's Place, the Zulu palette. Don't you just love her covers? And also what she puts on the inside of the lid. But yeah, this is my colorful palette. And you can see that I haven't used it yet because I am a little intimidated by these shades, especially the matte shades to use for my transition. Yeah, but one of these days I will use it because these are beautiful colors. Yeah, my goal in life is to use this palette. At least I do have a colorful palette because most of my other palettes are more on the, like I said, neutral warm side. And a few cools here and there. Next is my smallest palette. And I didn't know if it was supposed to be grams per each shade or just the size of the palette. But I'm going to go with the size of the palette. It's by Charlotte Tilbury and it's one of her quads, Desert Haze. And yeah, I like this one. Again, another warm matte palette. And I do like the size of it because this would be great for travel, whenever we get to travel again. But yeah, this is my smallest palette. Now for my biggest palette, and I'm kind of cheating a little bit because most of my palettes are this size. But this is a palette. It is just a Z palette and it is filled with all Sydney Grace eyeshadows. So I guess this can classify it as my biggest palette because it is a Z palette and it all has one brand of eyeshadows. This one holds 48 pans, but I was able to get one more, so this one holds 49 of my Sydney Grace shadows. And I know I'll be getting more in the sale, and I probably need to get another Z palette this size. And what can we say about the Sydney Grace eyeshadows? They are great. They are pigmented, they blend out very nicely, and her pressed pigments, I can't wait to get more of her shadows. But yeah, this one is my biggest palette. I know I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but I think it'd be okay. Huh? What do you think? Now for the palette with the best memory, and this one was a no-brainer for me. Last year, our daughter got married, and I ended up doing my own Mother of the Bride makeup. So I figured I could probably do a better job, and I'm also saving some money. And the palette that I use, it's by Tarte, and it's the Tartelette in Bloom. I also did a video after the wedding of how I did my makeup, and I'll link it down below for you guys. But this palette is really an elegant palette. So yeah, this palette does hold a great memory for me because every time I look at this palette, I think of the wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding. Oh my gosh. And I thought I did pretty well doing my own Mother of the Bride look, and I asked my daughter first to make sure that it was okay if I did my own makeup, and she said, yeah, sure. So yeah, this one is my best memory palette. Now for the palette that's worth the hype, and to me, it will have to be the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes. I love this palette, and again, I think this one would be a great everyday palette too, and I really do love the shades. And I also like how they've kind of combined a matte with a metallic, So yeah, I think this one is worth the hype. Now the next one is what is not worth the hype, and I know I'm going to get some flack for it. And actually the one that I really do think is not worth the hype, I don't have it anymore because I returned it. It's the 12 pan palettes by Charlotte Tilbury. For me, I just don't see the hype there. But I already returned it, and we're just talking about the palettes that I have in my hand right now. And so the next one I'll have to choose would be this one by Pat McGrath, the Divine Rose 1. Here are the shades right here. Let me bring it a little closer there for you. And yeah, there are a couple of shades that I really do like, but I just don't see the hype with this palette. Maybe it is a little bit more on the cool side with these shades and just didn't look right on me, but don't see the hype with the Divine Rose 1. My favorite palette from my favorite brand, that one was a toughie because I've got a lot of favorite brands. I've got Sydney Grace, Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona. But the one that I think is really my favorite palette from my favorite brand, it is by Juvia's Place. We have another mention here by Juvia's Place. And it is the Warrior, and again with a nice cover, beautiful cover. This one, the inside cover doesn't have much, but look at these shades. Those are really beautiful bronzy shades. And I pretty much have all of her palettes. There are one or two that I didn't get yet. I think there's one that's been sold out for a while. But this one, the Warrior, like I said, just beautiful bronze shades. And this one right here, that is a beautiful shade for transition for my skin tone. I know the camera keeps going in and out there. And then these bronze metallic shades, they're beautiful. So yeah, this one will have to be my favorite palette from my favorite brand. And the last one is my most used palette. And I really don't have a most used palette because I do have a lot of them and I'm trying to use them all, try to spread the love around. So I really don't have a most used palette because most likely when I get a new palette, I will use it until the next one comes along, and then I'll use that one many times, and then a new one will come along and I'll use that one, and then I'll go back to an older palette and then go back to the newer palette. So yeah, I really don't have a most used palette. Well, alright, this one was a fun tag. I got to kind of know my palettes more. I won't tag anyone because this tag has been out there for a while, and if you haven't done this tag, please feel free to do it. I would love to see your video. But anywho, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.